Hello, it is Super Orange Cat, and here's my review of Genlock's second episode. It just aired on Toonami, and I'm going to give a brief synopsis and then my general thoughts on the episode. So, if you watch the first episode, you know it ends in a cliffhanger with the main character just randomly showing up again and being like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm alive," when everyone thought he died years ago. And they generally just explain, "Oh, he's alive, but he's like in this weird state where he has to live in like a tube the whole time. So like he's alive, but like he's only a fish. He can only really do stuff for our project. And for this project, you need to have a very specific mental system. Like you need a very specific, I think, like central nervous thing, like neuroplasticity, like in a certain way. And that's alluded to. And of course, that means that foreshadows an event towards the end of this episode. And eventually, after that, we get introduced to the rest of the characters for this season. You have Cammy, you have Valentina, you have the other two guys who I don't even remember their names at this point. And it's revealed, surprise, surprise, the other guy who wears blue is the spy that's part of the evil organization that's trying to attack Earth. That's still very mysterious to us at this point. So then, basically, we end up in a standoff where he wants to be loaded up into a robot. So, like, the doctor's like, okay, okay, put him in. And his brain completely fries. He starts bleeding out his nose. And then he's like, turns around to the people and like, well, that's what happens when you're not compatible with this. Weird shit happens to you. So, in general, my general thoughts of it, I don't really have much of a strong opinion about this episode. First episode I was very neutral about. I said it had some things working for it, but at the same time I felt like it wasn't executed right. And of course, I'm not a fan of this animation style. And this episode, as you might tell from what I said, was more of an expositionary episode where almost the first half of the episode was just in a conference hall. The doctor, who's voiced by one of the old Doctor Who's, so bit of a little in joke there since they keep referring to him as Doctor. He would just explain, oh, by the way, this is a new secret project, totally top secret, but like we can program you into these like giant mechs if you have this certain mindset. And just it really reminds me of this show really just at best just feels like it's just taking better done elements from other well-established anime, like the whole he can contact with us but not really interact with us is so reminiscent of Sword Art Online, especially Kirito State and Alicization, the first half of Alicization. I'm not aware of what happens in the second half yet. And also specifically the whole you need to have a certain mental outlook that we figure out by testing you when you first come in to be able to operate these mechs really reminds me a lot of the very bizarre specific circumstance in order to operate the robots in Darling in the Franxx, which I'm not sure YouTube would allow me to explain what that is, but it's something pretty weird and something probably only Japan would ever honestly come up with. And I feel like that just tries to take those elements. And of course, you can borrow elements from shows because there's really not that many elements to build on, but it feels like it didn't add anything special to those elements rather than just like, well, these really work in other anime, so let's just use them because it'll make us look better. Sorry. And maybe the show does that in the future. We still yet to have any mecha fights. Since this was an expositionary episode, the characters don't get uploaded to their mechas yet. And at the same time, they're really building this personal drama to it, which kind of worked with Chase and his buddy, the can't remember his name. Like they had this kind of sweet moment where it's like, I thought you were dead, and had this like, hey, let's still hang out type feel, which I thought was really well done. But man, they really, really don't know how to do this weird romance arc between him and the character voiced by Dakota Fanning. I don't even remember her name. Miranda, I think was her name. Right? They have this fake, like not fake, but like, and they really have this like really cringy boyfriend girlfriend style argument where it's like, oh, you were dead all this time, but I didn't know. Like, yeah, he could totally control the fact that after he died, he would like be brought back as some weird robot sprite or something. Like, she just seemed so in the wrong in this, and the show just tried to make it look like they were having a mutual fight, but it's like the guy sacrificed himself to save Earth and he's taken part of this program to protect Earth from the same mysterious evil force, and you're the angry one. You don't have the right to be angry. I don't know, that was just more of a personal thing. Maybe you see that a little differently. And there's also still this whole thing about this mysterious organization that's trying to take down Earth that the other blue guy, I think like Studer or whatever was his name, was a part of. And with this character, it's just like it feels still good in many ways to try to keep your villain as mysterious as possible over time to build a mystique around them to make them seem more grandiose. But at the same time, like we're a quarter through the show, by the way. There's 8 episodes. We're through 2 episodes. At this point, you're going to need to know some basic exposition about, okay, why does this group want to take over Earth? Are they aliens? Are they political dissidents? Something. And from the looks of the next episode, it's going to be more of a training episode. So we might even get that. And after that, we'll be almost halfway through the show. I don't know. This episode, like I said, did some things right. It wasn't the worst episode of all time or anything. Just kind of another disappointing one. But at the same time, I'm going to give it a third episode. What do you guys think? Are you loving Genlock so far? What are your opinions on it? Leave your comments down below. Do you want more? Do you want me to keep reviewing Genlock like this? Please subscribe, please hit like, and of course hit that notification button. Alright, I'm Super Orange Cat, and that is all.